maybe someone wrote a bug fix. Anyway,
sorry. No, it's fine.
No one understood what was going on, and I guess that's just the way it is today.
There's some ghosts in the...
Yeah, there are. God knows there are ghosts here in this wonderful old palace hotel, like Warren G. Harding, who gave up his ghost here. We don't need to talk about that.
That's interesting stuff.
So, why did you leave the wonderful world of Wall Street to move here and work for clients?
The commute would be shorter to the Web 2.0 conference.
Yeah.
I worked at Morgan Stanley for 19 years. It was a great experience. It was a great organization. I always wanted to invest, but I liked what I was doing there. And I feel that if you like where you work, you shouldn't leave until it's better than it was when you got there. And I thought, call it old school, but the organization's in a pretty good place. The tech team is in a great spot. I got a kick out of the team wrote a research report on the company that we took public, and I called them up and I said, guys, you're the same team. Why is this report better now than it would have been if you were working with me when I was there? So that was I think that it was a great time. I realized if I didn't leave then, I would never leave. And the Climate team is a great team. It's a loose federation of company builders, and there are a lot of great companies and a lot of great entrepreneurs, and it's fun to help them.
You managed to get the timing pretty good on the whole Occupy Wall Street thing. But you must have an opinion about it, given everything you just showed, right? About the U.S. economy and certainly the global economy. That last slide was global. What do you make of it?
So I think people are angry, and everybody's angry. People deserve to be a little angry. I think that we've had a lot of finger pointing recently, or over the last couple of years, which I don't necessarily think is good. And I look at it in a holistic way. If we go back over the last 40 years, our government has been pretty loose with spending and was pretty loose in keeping interest rates at a low level. And that, when people were looking for places to invest and they couldn't get high returns on secure savings, and house prices were going up 20%, and they could get loans at relatively low rates, they got the loans, they bought the second home. Credit was easy. The government set up a situation where it was easy to borrow. The economy was doing pretty well. Consumers got over their skis with borrowing, and Wall Street was given instruments to trade, and they traded them like crazy. And so I think when you take a step back, this is the way I look at it, if I was trying to point blame, I'd say a third government, a third consumer, a third financial services industry. So there's a lot of finger pointing because we have a problem. And we don't have a cushion right now because our expenses as a country are higher than they ever have been relative to the
Is there no way out, or?
The way out is we all have to say, we have a problem, we all have to sacrifice. We have to give up a little here, we have to give a little there, and we need some really good focused leadership from our Congress, from the White House, to really make those changes. And the consumer has to say, I get that we all have a problem, and I do have to sacrifice.
Right. How are you feeling on handicapping that happening?
It hasn't looked good so far, but I hope, I'm an optimist. I'm
So
an optimist.
So
And I think, I'll say one more thing, the consumer has tightened their belt. You have to. If you don't tighten your belt, you have a problem, you're kicked out of your house. I think businesses have tightened their belts. S&P earnings growth has been pretty good over the last 3 years.
That's because they're firing people.
Well, but they have shareholders to report to, and so they're doing what they need to do to keep themselves in good stead, as consumers are too, with their bankers or whomever. And the government hasn't done that, and that's the next step. And I think we want to see that happen. But everybody's guilty.
I'd love to debate policy, but we don't have time, and I want to get to what you're actually doing now.
Okay.
We have very, very little time. So I've compressed it.
Is this Dan Schulman's water?
No, I don't think that's Dan's water. That was Dan's water over there.
I like Dan, always Dan's water.
You can just get a little bit of that Schulman magic. I've compressed, because we don't have much time, I've compressed companies that you've invested in, or the client or your fund has invested in. And I want one word or 2 words
Ben stuff, happy, sad.
So let's start.
Blue.
I want to start with, and I might toss in a couple of companies that you haven't invested per se, but you covered, and you obviously have very clear opinions about some very big, already public companies. So let's start with Waze.
We're going to speed clock?
Speed. Waze.
Waze. Israel, 7 million users. 10% of Tel Aviv commuters use Waze when they're driving around Tel Aviv. And it's really helped them beat traffic. And the thing that interested us, I'm sorry I'm going on this.
That's
There are 140, but I'm long-winded, but I can get through it. 140 million Americans spend 50 minutes a day in a car, and 75% of them are alone. And this one of the themes that we talked about was sound in the car, audio. I think it's a big untapped white space.
White space, well, but yes, there's this company name there. Square.
Can I do more than one word?
Okay, you can do like 4.
So,
okay, you can do 4 sentences.
20,000% year-on-year gross payment volume and transaction revenue growth.
I saw that slide. That was pretty extraordinary. Spotify.
How'd you see the slide?
I was backstage messing with you the whole time.
Okay. It's changed the way I listen to music. I love it. 15 million users. John Battelle is listening to Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, and
I haven't shared my.
Taylor Swift. And Tim O'Reilly is listening to Truckin' by the Grateful Dead. And nobody was listening to nothing when you were throwing the Angry Birds out there.
Oh.
Looking like Drew Brees. It was very impressive.
Oh yeah,
We needed some music.
I missed obviously my Calaveras could use a quarterback. This one might be, I don't know, Groupon.
Quiet period.
Oh!
I would love to talk about Groupon, but I can't.
Pass. Which you can put right there. Twitter.
I know Dick was here last night. I didn't catch everything that he said, but they have 2,000 advertisers, up from about less than 100 a year ago.
Yes.
So they're finally starting to monetize the platform, which is pretty exciting. I think their mobile user growth is 40% sequentially, and their tweets are up 150% year on year. So they're starting to hit it.
One Kings Lane.
I spend 5 minutes a day on the site every morning, 5 days a week, and they just had their first $1 million day in the last month. That's a big number. And I didn't buy all of it.
I mean, they're on a $360 million run rate.
No, that's not fair, but they had a good day.
They had a good day. Trendyol. I'm familiar with that.
Turkish fashion site. They have 4 million users, founded 2 years ago, and Turkey is the textile capital of the world. And they really like fashion. And the demo skews very young. They're one of the top Facebook countries in the world, and they have a kickin' entrepreneurial team, great team.
Last two, I'm going to cut these down because we're already out of time. 360 Buy.
Chinese company. The second and third tier cities outside of Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou are underserved. Great entrepreneur, a little bit of Walmart, a little bit of Amazon.com. E-commerce is going 40% a year. They're doing really well. How are we doing?
Zynga.
Quiet period.
Damn it.
I think we should have said everything yesterday.
Yeah, he sure as hell did. He didn't show up. I know, quiet period. All right.
You know, just one of the things that a year ago, I think we showed a slide or recently that it wasn't a year ago, but Cityville ramped far faster than Farmville did.
Yeah.
And one of the questions people have about businesses like that is there a secret sauce? Can they make the next game? Do they know how to make the next game as good as the last game? And they proved some of that with that game. I thought with the ramp.
Let me just ask you one.
That's why I agree.
Okay. Google.
I think the new structure of the management team